We all have gems in our backyard, and I know it's really cool to have a look at a video like this in a strange place that you've never been into and really want to be there, maybe even in a way covet to be there. But what I want to encourage you is there might be something like today's spot probably in your backyard. This is actually not too far from where I've lived for about the last, about 8 years or so. Never actually been around this part. Now, granted, some of this is newly constructed little hiking trails, probably only at this point in time a few years old. But still, it was a place I hadn't been at. I kind of knew that it was here, and I thought this might be just a nice place to kind of avoid some people for the day and to get out and get a little bit of work done and then go and hike around a lake for a day. Why not, right? So I pull in here and very sparse. There's a couple people out there in canoes and other oar-powered boats out in the lake. Other than that, not a whole lot. So let's see what today will bring.
Well, good morning, everybody, and it is time to begin yet another day here on the road. I'm not really on the road yet, because we're just kind of starting this channel out. I let go of the apartment almost a month ago. It's been about 23 days I've been living here, and I've just been staying in town here, and mostly just parking in a friend's driveway and then heading out in the morning where I can find some work to do. And I pretty much stay out all day and then go back there, although probably tonight or tomorrow I'm actually going to go out and start finding other places to park, just because I want to get a little bit more of the feel for being out somewhere where I don't necessarily have access to all of the regular services. So today, though, I landed at a lake, which is just a little bit to the southwest here. I don't know if you can see much out the back windows, but my back window view is simply overlooking a lake there. And what I'm going to do here today is I have to start with some just a little bit of work. So here's nice woods, and then let me just give you guys a view of the lake over here. Hopefully you can see that. I can't see what's on the camera right now. So that's where I've parked right now. And it's about time to get to work. So I have to do a few hours of client work. I'm going to try and do 2 or 3 hours, and then I'm going to get out. There's actually a trail over here that actually goes all the way around the lake. So after I'm done with the work, I'm going to turn on exercise mode and start walking the whole trail and stuff like that. But as far as work goes, I also need to make some coffee. So right now, just having a brief look over my panels right now, we're at 13.5 volts, so we're pretty much completely full, and we're drawing right now just shy of 40 volts at 11 amps, and well, it's going to go back up as soon as the cloud passes by. So with the batteries being that full, I'm running the electric burner today. I do have 2 burners in here. I have electric and I have gas. And so first thing I'm going to do is fold up this chair I was reading this morning before I turned on the camera. I read with the folding camping chair, and then I actually do work on this guy down here. Is a massive storage stool, just a huge multi-purpose thing. But what we're going to do first is we're going to make some coffee. So let's go ahead and do that. While the coffee's brewing up, we're gonna go ahead and get the office ready. So I have 2 monitors down here. I do use them both for work. One of them is actually kind of my media system, and that is a variety of different computers. This is on a 3-way HDMI switch, and the 3 computers that I have, the main processing computer is always one of them because that's a dual monitor system. I also have this guy up here, which is a Dell Inspiron Micro Tower. Runs very low wattage. And then the last one is actually inside this cabinet here, where I actually have a few different computers way back kind of behind here, hidden back behind here. And this guy is a media PC, which basically you can do movies, music, stuff like that on almost no power at all. Like, we're talking so much power, you can run that thing off of, you know, an external cell phone charger for a long time. My primary work computer is actually this other Raspberry Pi. So these are ARM microcomputers. If you don't know anything about Raspberry Pis or things like that, you can actually do the wide scope of what most people do as a day job on those little things. They're like $70 or so, and they work really well. I do the majority of my work on that. So using my switches on the wall over here, I have a few switches I'm going to hit. This one is internet. This one is my central networking hub, and this one is my network switch to pass my data all throughout. And I am so geeky, I do have an Ethernet port in my van because yeah, I'm a nerd. Back here, this switch here powers both of the monitors, so hit that and both monitors will turn on there. And now I just hit this guy up here, which is my media PC, and this switch down here, which is my work PC. Now I'm going to have to pull out the keyboards and stuff, which are kind of down here. It's kind of in a mess right now. I just haven't gotten to finalize everything there yet, but with that, and I actually have things color-coded on the back here because I have so many keyboards and mice that I've actually color-coded everything so I know which ones go where. So, but that's what we're doing. And so this guy's waiting for a password, so we're going to get logged into the 2 computers, and then we're going to pour the coffee, and then I'm going to go get a couple hours of work. Alright, so I have my coffee, I have my computers are turned on. Time for me to turn off the camera for a few hours, get a few hours of work. And then we'll come back on when we're ready to have a closer look at this lake and walk around the trail. Well, I got a little bit of work done, and there's just a couple more videos on content stuff I wanted to do, and so I thought I'd give a try out to my new exercise attempts here. So I left all my weights behind, obviously, put those in storage, so I'm not going to have the weights with me. So I ended up buying some fitness bands, and I kind of want to see how they will work. So this pack here was like, I don't know, 20 bucks, I think, for 3 different bands. So there's a few different exercises you can do quite easily. Some of them are the curls. I put all 3 bands on, and well, it's not, it's good. I think it'll probably work. It'll give me a few weeks here of working with them to see how well they do. But you can do a variety of different things from these, and there's just a couple of different things that we can do. So I'm gonna get a little bit of exercise in for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and walk around the lake. All right, well, work is done and exercise is done, and there's the kind of the lake I've been at. That's kind of the view out my back windows. And we're gonna go ahead and walk on the trail that's over here and see what we see. There's a nice little cliff heads over there. There's a little dam way over there. I think that's brand new. About a year and a half or 2 years ago, they drained this out. Maybe it's a little longer than that. They drained this out to build that dam over there. And then they put in a lot of trails. I've never actually hiked on this trail. I think I've done the one on the other side. These should loop around, but we'll go ahead and have a look at this. There's no horseback riding. Very apt sign. Actually, you can horseback ride on the other side of the trail. So there's where we're at. And we're right here. Van's parked over here. So you can see the red trail here. should go all the way around and loop all the way back around. So that's kind of what we're gonna do here. And I don't know if you can walk over this dam or not. It looks like people are. So I'm guessing you can walk over the dam here. We'll know for sure when we get there. There's a boat launch here, there's a boat launch here. And apparently there's a giant sea serpent right here. So I gotta avoid right there. That's where the sea serpent is. So stay out of the sea serpent. But there's where we are. We're gonna start hiking this guy. Looks like I need to jump over just a little hair on Lake Road, jump back on the trail over here, and then come back down around. So I need to take about an hour or so long walk. I'll film just a little bit of it. I am actually, I walk and read, and I have a book to edit, and that's kind of the final pass. So go ahead and get started here. Nice, beautiful trail. Oh, there's some people that were just walking their dog I was talking to. That's why the creek is red. It looks like it's probably full of iron, is my guess, which probably isn't too bad of a guess, or used to be a lot of iron smelting in central Pennsylvania. Of course, Carnegie was here, famous Carnegie Iron. Has his famous Carnegie House, is now a little inn in town, and there's a lot of old Carnegie mines. This is kind of what we have, and I'll stop and take a few photos. For the most part, I'm going to enjoy my walk and read a little bit. There it is. Yeah, thanks, Grandma.
Well, Grandma notwithstanding, this is a very nice walk. I can say that I've walked in a lot of different places, actually in a lot of different types of environments, whether it be the Midwest or in the West and the mountains. And, there's things I really like about Pennsylvania. The bugs are bad, especially this time of the year, and it is hot and humid. So I am looking forward to going west, where you step from the sun into the shade and it cools down a good several degrees because there's a lack of humidity. But with that being said, this walk is one of the nicer walks that I've been on. From the overlooks to where the trail is, the fact it is kind of hugging some people's backyards, giving us some nice funny little things to look at here coming up. But I love the cliffs, the shale cliffs going down into the water down below, and just the fact that you can look around the whole lake, see everything, and just walking around a lake, there's just something about it that's nice. This is a very nice trail also for bikes. I didn't encounter any bikers while I was on it, but I did see a biker showed up here. But right before I started walking on the trail. There's also a bird watcher back here somewhere as well, coming out with a huge telescopic camera lens. There's the van out there.
There's the van, way over there. So there's my home.
And then walking right on back down this guy down here, this part here just looks so fun to be on a bike. There's some hills going up, some hills going down. But what I really liked about this walk here is the change in forestation, the change in scenery. As somebody who's done a lot of actual academic study in these areas, I love seeing the different ecosystems. Within this, obviously, we have the lake, we have a little bit of wetlands, we have a little stream going through a pine forest, which gives us kind of the rare look of having a grassy green layer on the bottom. But we do have some pine forest. There's a little bit of deciduous forest there as well.
Some nice shale cliffs here right on in. So if I had the extra time, this might be a good place to look for some form of fossils, but behold, we're not going to today anyway. But this is right along the side of the trail. So we're going down here. These were kind of the shaly cliffs that you can see from the other side. There's more of them there. And then we're just right on down here, the cliff out to the lake. So really, really nice trail here. I'd say one of the nicer trails I've been on in a while.
I love these sections here by what's called the point on the map, where you're going to go over and you could sit down there and stick your legs in the water if you wanted to. And if I wasn't carrying so much electronic equipment with me, I would. Here's some solar panels. My guess is that these are powering some lights that are here on the point. A lot of people do use this little lake at the night for night kayaking. It's nice to have some lights out on the point so you kind of know where you're at on the lake. And that's kind of, I think, what we see here. And we have this lovely, lovely bench here that we'll have a seat on here for a few minutes and can really look out of the lake, see all the people doing all the different things. It's just such a beautiful day.
Well, I reflect over on this is kind of the last couple weeks here. I'm in Pennsylvania, at least for a while. I'll be back, obviously, but last couple weeks that I'm here before I start moving towards west and seeing what adventures I can have out there. But just kind of wanted to spend a little bit of time and just look out here and reflect back. I moved back to State College because it was one of the places that I always felt like the most home. Unfortunately, it's kind of becoming unrecognizable and as to the place I used to. I'm not going to go into the reasons why here, but I liked the university. I liked the resources, the people around town, but it's changing a lot here, and maybe a lot of places are changing. I don't know, but I want to get back out west. I used to live out there for a while and see some friends out there and see a lot of the other sites in the middle. And in the meantime, I'm just going to record some videos locally, show you some of the places I've hung out over the last number of years. But reflect back and realize that as beautiful as this place is, wherever you are, you might have places like this. It's kind of like if you've ever read that old book, The Acre of Diamonds, about how a guy wants something that his neighbor has. It's kind of a book about covetousness, really. But we look back at it and say, man, that's so beautiful. Oftentimes, though, we get stuck in a rut where we forget what is around us, or we don't even know, or we don't even investigate. So like last year, I had all these books on my shelf that are on my to-read pile, books that I had had for years, hadn't gotten a chance to read yet. So I said, well, I'm going to get through as many of these as I can before I have to start my van build. And so I grabbed these books, and I like to walk and read. I've always done it for years. People are like, oh, I could never do that. Yeah, you can, just practice, But I started reading these, and during the workday, I won't usually walk quite as much. But on the weekend, I'd walk for a couple, maybe up to an hour and a half or so. And I'd park at these parks, and I'd figure out that these trails, I'd push myself further and see exactly where all these trails go. And I found some amazing, beautiful places last year that I didn't know existed in this town that combined, I probably lived in this town more than I lived in any other place. I moved out here to do my doctor's degree in 2001. I was out here until I think 2008 when I moved out west, and I came back in 2013. It's now 2021. Whatever that is, it's about, 15-ish, maybe more or less years that I've been here. And there's places I still don't know about. I've never walked on this trail that we're walking here. Now, this is a little bit more out of the way from where I've been. Usually I'm talking about going in State College, but I've walked through the marshes. I've walked through some of the old-time woods. Just a lot of cool stuff out here. The question is, are you willing to go out and look for it? So before you get too covetous on following a Vanlife channel and saying, wow, where adventures can I go? Don't get me wrong. You can get some great ideas and enjoy vicariously living. It's entertaining. I've done it for a long time. You have to understand. But at the same time, there's also many beautiful places where you are. I encourage you to get out and see those things where you are. Make it a goal this week to hunt down a new hiking trail, hunt down a new biking trail, get out that old dusty bike, get a little bit of exercise in, and get out and see your town wherever you are. And let me know the cool things you have, so when I get to your town, I can try them out too. That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and finish on the trail, and we'll wrap back around and get on to the rest of my day here. Yeah, there's where it came from. Little edge there. We're in a little little opening and clearing, and then we're going into an old pine forest. You can kind of tell the older pine forests, they're going to be tight in, straight like this. It's not planted. You can tell the planted ones because everything is in a perfect line, but the old ones, you'll see almost no needles on the lower branches, just the ones up high. That means this is a pretty old, mostly undisturbed pine forest. Of course, they came in and did the pathing and stuff. It's also, though, it's rare to find one like this which has the grass, but this just indicates that it's a moister environment, which makes sense because we're by a lake and there's a little creek down here going through. So this type of pine forest with these leaves is actually a fairly rare find. So pretty cool. And then there's kind of bordering on some deciduous over here. Again, older deciduous forest, which you can tell because there's not a lot of ground cover, because the leaves on the deciduous forest cover all that up. Going ahead, and I'd say we're probably about halfway-ish through the trail at this point, but we're going to keep going on. Alright, so here's part 2 of the trail. I actually somewhat missed it. It's the sign for it's over there. I just kind of walked on over here. So now we are here. So again, we started down here, walked all the way over this point here. Now we're actually right here. And I'll be going around this way. I'm just having a cursory look. This is grassy over. You can sit over there, and there's actually some people over there running some remote control sailboats right now, so I'm not going to go over there. We're going to continue on through the trail. This is going to cut back down to the other side of the dam. Going to walk right on back down to the other parking lot where we started. It's kind of where we're at. No swimming allowed. I will note that as I walk through the woods, that there's no swimming allowed in these woods. Thank you. Ooh, but I am a very fun guy. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, there's our crossing right there. It's a bunch of stones. Make sure my book is secure. I'm actually reading on a... ooh, this looks slippery too. Okay. A little nervous over here because... oh yeah, look at that. It's orange. Probably a lot of iron in this creek. That's my thought. These steps are a little slick, and I have a tablet that I'm reading on, and the phone here we're recording on. Here's the dam over here. Ooh, we got more steps. These ones at least are in the sun, so they're dry.
Even though most of what we see over here is man-made stuff, it still does carry with it some very nice scenery. I love these the bridges that the people put down here. You just kind of walk over on the stones. Hopefully you don't step in. Big stones, though, they're not going to move on you. These ones here at least are in the sun. The last ones were kind of in the shade. But I love these little spillways. This kind of look really nice. In fact, there's some other places I used to visit as a child where we had some of these spillways, and they weren't actively being used, but they were there. But I love how this trail kind of wraps into the woods here a little bit, and then it's going to come right back out on the other side and have an upper view of the spillway also, and we can follow along on the trails and get pretty close to the spillway. So very nice scenery here. Definitely encourage you, if you're in central Pennsylvania, come on out. Free parking over there by the lake, and there's 2 different parking spots over here, and then you can just pick up the trail on either one of those, walk around the whole lake, and overall it looked like it was about maybe about a 3-mile loop.
Here's really nice view of the Red Stream, and most likely caused by iron ore under the stream bed. So you can walk along where the trail hugs the stream. Seeing the beautiful orange peek through is quite a sight. Very cool. So here we are coming to the trail's end. Heading right on back into the parking lot. The stream down here, right down there at the very end is where the van is parked. Nice trail. And looks about 6,500 steps, so about 3 miles. I stopped to do a video I needed to process for one of my other channels, and I used to do this late at night, but this is something you have to think about when you're doing van life, is when are you doing certain things on some computers. For example, this is my big processing computer. It's the only one I have that has to plug directly into an AC outlet, and it is a full-scale custom-built PC, so it uses a little bit more power. So you tend to use this when you have a sunnier, brighter day, so that we're not exhausting the battery power later. So basically I just shuffle my day around so that things that don't require as much battery power or as strong of a computer, I'm going to use later on in the day, and I'm going to do the processing stuff now instead of doing that later. So right now I have about 15 minutes left before this video is done processing. You can see right there, and I have the dual monitor system set up on this one here. But battery is still completely full. You can see the green up top is just flickering just a bit. That means it's kind of right on the line. We're drawing in, we're at 36 volts and 15 amps drawing in off the solar panels. It's becoming a hazy day, but we're at 13.4 volts still on the battery, which is effectively completely full. So, I've made 2 cups of coffee today, utilizing the electric both times, running the processing computer. We're still sitting at completely full batteries. This is what happens when you have 500 watts of solar on your roof. So it works out well. I'm just going to probably just take a little bit of a rest now while this guy finishes up. I'm not going to upload the video yet. I'll do that a little bit later on. But we'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and get it all finished processing and do something else. So while it was started processing, I went around and I finished the section of the book I needed to read. I'm down here in the Bollesburg Military Museum. It was a good parking lot that has a lot of access to sun, but a huge parking lot, and I know I have full cellular reception. So if I do decide I want to upload the video and just schedule it for later, yeah, I can do that. And that'll, save me a little bit of time later, saves me a little bit of power later. But with that, looks like I need to charge up the phone, so we're going to stop for now. I'm going to take a little bit of a rest, and then we'll move on with the day later. Well, it's drawing near to the end of another day, and the kitties are in their spots. This is kind of where they sit while we're driving. They have kind of figured out from the patterns that we've pulled all the blinders off the front windows, pulled all the blinders off the back windows, and we've had some dinner already. I'm still at the military museum. In fact, I'm kind of parked in front of this cannon right there. Yeah, there you go. And there's a couple artilleries back behind me there, and some tanks over here as well. But we sat here, did a bunch more work. I pushed out a couple of videos for my other channels, and then I just kind of got some dinner. What I just did today is very simple: bread, lunch meat. I had some lunch meat that had to finish up, so before it went bad, so I pretty much cleared out all of the perishable stuff out of the refrigerator. So tomorrow I'll go back to the store, pick up some more stuff, and from there we'll figure out what we're going to do tomorrow for dinner. Actually, I think I have some chicken in there still that needs to be used, but just opened that up yesterday. So we'll be good with that for the next couple of days. But anyway, from here, I think I'm going to go find a place where I can sit down, maybe borrow a little bit of internet, and I'm going to work on taking the edits that I did when I was walking earlier today. I was editing a book, and I'm going to take those edits, I'm going to integrate those into the book, and then wrap up, and then for the rest of the evening, not sure, have a few more hours yet before I'll find a place to park. Probably just park at my friend's house again, and then finish up today, and then we'll jump in tomorrow with another new day.